Hi, I'm Rob, and this is the unedited spoilers where I go over what's happening next week in the world of Gems of War, and you get all the mistakes, all the doorbell rings, all the cups of tea slurps, all the things that go wrong, included completely free of charge. Now, if that's not a bargain, I do not know what is. Anyway, what is a bargain as well is my new channel I started. I'm going to keep on plugging it because I want it to do well, because I think it's a really good idea. It is the AI Oracle, a completely AI run channel, YouTube channel, where it makes literally every single decision and it invites you to ask mind-bending questions and it will answer you honestly. Really cool. So pop over to the AI Oracle and give that a little look if you like, and hit a cheeky subscribe and the like button and all that malarkey. Anyway, Glory Shop reminder, don't forget to go into the Glory Shop and pick up the Goblin Pickpocket. Pretty cool troop. Make sure you got it if you've not done it already. And it's a continuation of the current campaign. See what amazing, super generous goodies we're going to get in next week. From the campaign bars. Free pass, not too bad. Some delicious treasure maps. You know you love them. Bit of Dragonite, a bit more Dragonite, and even more lovely treasure maps to adore and cherish and chuck into the room with all the rest of them that you're never going to use. And in the first pay for pass, we get some flipping pet food. Oh, we get a couple of Imperial Deeds. That's not too bad, though. I'll let it off. And we get the King of Cups. Now, I'll just talk briefly about the balance in this game, because I find this part of it really stupid. Not only is he a bit stupid, he looks like Predator that's fallen into a manky swamp. Yes, and but look at this. It gives 10 life to all allies. That is a set in stone amount. Can't be changed. And there's a 7% chance of an extra turn for each green gem on the board. I mean, that's the same as the Empress. Think about how just ridiculously, obscenely good the Empress is. How much you can boost the skills on whoever's in last place in your team, and how just massively beneficial that is. And even the Emperor, to a degree, not as good as the Empress, but still up there. It's still really good. But this, same mana cost, same kind of traits, but the spell is completely naff in all ways. So this got me thinking, just, well, a little bit earlier, say thinking, about 10 seconds worth. I used to basically think that the troops in this game would be balanced on some kind of weighting system. By weighting system, I mean like the devs have got a certain amount of score or weight that they give to a certain aspect, like, you know, a barrier, or giving life certain weight to every life it gives, so you can come up with even troops. So when something's a legendary, there'd be a sort of a lowest end legendary and a highest end legendary, for example, which is where you get the mana cost from. But you'd think they'll all be roughly in the same bracket, but you can't say this is anywhere near the same bracket as the Empress, for example, which makes me think that my thought that, you know, the devs might make a game where the troops were vaguely balanced throughout, or given a weighting system so they were sort of equal in power to a certain degree, is completely out the window, because there's just no way any of this is remotely even on a par with the Empress. It's just terrible. It's okay if you're a newer level player, and maybe that's how they're doing it. Because if you took a level 10 player who just started playing the game, they're still going to get 10 life to all allies, regardless of their player level. But the Empress would also start off on a very low amount to all skills on the last player, or the last ally, which may not be as powerful as that. So maybe that's how they're thinking about it, I don't know. But it all goes wrong, the balancing weighting system all goes wrong as you get high level in the game, because this is where like this becomes absolute rubbish and the Empress becomes obscenely good. Anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comments. What's your most mismatched troops in the game regarding their apparent level, like mythic or legendary, things like that. Like things, you know, like it's like, how can that even be? Does it look like Garnock, that stupid mythic, the orc one? That's like, you know, compare that to other mythics, the same mana cost. There's no comparison to how good it is. It's like ridiculous. Anyway, we get that. We get the King of Cups. Speaking of cups, I'm going to have a bit of a... It's not actually tea today. I was going to say tea, but it's not. It's milky coffee made with milk. It's a latte. Delicious. And you have to keep drinking it at regular intervals, otherwise you get that film of milk on top, don't you? And like you go to drink it and you end up chewing it, and it's like, I'm not supposed to be chewing my drink. That's not right, especially when it's coffee. Anyway, what am I doing? 1, 2. Yes, that is it. That is it for them. So yeah, nothing too special, and definitely nothing special. King of, I was going to say king of craps then, but he probably is. It looks like he's sitting there like concentrating. Anyway, I'm not even going down that road. Anyway, what's next? That's completely thrown me off. Continuation of campaign. Rice, yes. So rice. Maybe I'm having a curry later. What the heck is going on today? Someone's put something in my coffee. It's been spiked. Right, so next week, obviously, we do the Soulforge review on a Monday. I'll be popping into there, telling what I think are the best weapons and indeed the best troops to craft from there. And a Underspire team will be in that video as well on Monday. At the end of the video, I'll show you a cool Underspire team to go through the Underspire as quickly as possible. And one day I may actually carry on doing the Underspire again. I keep saying it every week. If you've got the spare 1,000 or so gems, which is what it takes to go through the Underspire in its entirety, and you've got the time to do it, it is completely worth doing. And the rewards are really, really good. Some of the best rewards in the game. Guaranteed reward, that is, like, as in you know what you're going to get for the costs. And I've got plenty of gems, but I'm just not finding the time to actually go through Underspire every week at the moment. I've got other things in my life going on. But Epic Trials next week, or being a Carziel, that's up here somewhere. There it is. But no need to make another Epic Trials video on that, because one will already exist. So just go to my channel, type in Carziel Epic Trials, and you'll get the strategy to hopefully get that done. But some of them are more tricky than others, so do bear that in mind. And speaking of Carziel, that is the Kingdom of the Week. When it's the Kingdom of the Week and you open your event chests, you only get troops from that kingdom listed. So right now that is Zijin, but from Monday that will change to Carziel. So what we can do, we can have a sneaky look in Carziel. Let's go to that. Where is it? There it is. Go to show all, and that'll bring up all the troops from Carziel. And if anybody's greyed out, it means you are missing that troop. There are a few caveats in this though. If it says Emperor Nazar under its name like that, it means you can't get it from these chests. You have to get it from the underworld, so do bear that in mind. But if anybody else is greyed out, you may get lucky and pull them from your event chests. And it's good on mythics as well. Like you can actually get a mythic which you are maybe missing. You can pop them to the top like that. Can't get that one though, not that he's any good anyway. You have to get it from the Soulforge. But you can get Ari's, Mithrilian or Stonehammer. These two are a little bit crummy. Nothing too special about them, but Ari's actually very good. Seemed weak when it first came out, but actually a very good team with Construct, especially with the Empress and this in last place. Can really boost up that damage. It complements the team really well, being Construct with the Empress as well. And it can do damage, can knock people out and explode gems, then charge up and do it again. Really, really good when it's in the right team as Ari's. And if you haven't got that, you may get it. So yeah, make sure you do that next week if you're missing any of those mythics. So the world event next week is it Tower of Doom? I think so, if I remember. Yes, it is. Tower of Doom is a brown Tower of Doom, effectively. Let's take a look at the troop we're getting. We're getting a Paragon statue. Destroys a 5x5 block. Give all allies 3 armor for each brown gem destroyed. So nothing special about that. We'll do a Tower of Doom team and strategy in that Monday video. It'll be Soulforge video first, then it'll be the Tower of Doom team and strategy, and then the Underspire team. So yeah, that'll be on Monday. On Tuesday we have a faction assault in Emperor Nazar, as we just mentioned. Emperor Nazar. Tricky one to do this with the team that I had, but sometimes they do release new troops when the faction gets expanded. It can actually make it a lot easier. So if you've got a particularly hard one which requires a high horde level, you can actually put it on the back burner and see if basically we get a new troop like for it to make it easier. Like Hellgate is a typical one which happened recently. Hellgate was one of the worst ones to do, one of the hardest ones to do. Then a new troop came out for that faction and it made it a lot easier to do. So yeah, Maybe worth, like, changing the order that some of these get done in sometimes if it requires a really high horde level to get it done. But that's by the by. Just do your faction assaults anyway, do the underworld anyway, make sure you get it done. Some of the best overall long-lasting rewards in the game, if you know what I mean. Once you get it done, it seems like a chore, but once it's done, you get, like, at the moment, +4 attack, +9 life, +8 armor, +2 magic for every single troop in the game, permanently forever. So totally worth doing, and it's a very satisfying thing to get done as well. So yeah, certainly worth doing. Wednesday we have a pet rescue. It is Rocky. Don't know if anybody remembers the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, this one's a team bonus. Earth, that is a brown. So worth doing. Get your Earth team bonus up. If you haven't got this mythic level, then make sure you grab that. And on Friday we have Thursday first, we have a Rune Priest thingy. What's it called? Class Trial. That's the one. Rune Priest. Let's have a look. Allied dwarves gain 2 life. Some of the dust storm when an enemy dies. Not bad. That's brown, which a lot of dwarves use. And all the dwarven allies gain 2 life and attack on 4 or 5 gem matches. So get 4 matches and you can actually boost up that life and attack in a substantial sort of way. Again, them sort of things are relative. I remember being a really early player and that sort of thing was actually really important to my survivability. It doesn't really matter now when you get a certain level, but in the early days, if you're a newer player, that certainly can make a difference. The talent trees, both of these are actually pretty good. Impact, inflict stun when enemies deal skull damage is actually really good for taking away an enemy's traits, or if you don't fancy that, then serendipity. Give a random ally a random status effect. If you get lucky with that, that can be a good one. These ones obviously relative on whatever weapon you're using, but Vanguard, gain a barrier at the start is not too bad, as is add 20% of armor to skull damage, or gain magic at the start is nifty as well. Rock Solid, gain a barrier when matching brown gems, super useful. You get brown a lot with dwarves, and they get a barrier for the hero every single time you do that is nice. When an ally dies, barrier another random ally, not good to me. Don't want to have people dying if you can avoid it. But this is a really good little one here, these choices here, but I just wish they were spread out so you didn't have to just pick one of them, because they're all good. Gain bonus, brown, gain enchant with matching green, or dispel all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches, really good. And fortitude too, so yeah, that's a decent Rune Priest set of talent trees all in, so make sure you get it to level 100. And on Friday we have a bounty event, so that is the spoilers for next week. If you enjoyed this video, be cool and pop over to the AI Oracle and give it a little like, watch and subscribe if you'd be so kind, because it's quite an intriguing little thing and I'm going to plug it to death because I like the idea of this. An AI run channel, it makes every single decision on everything to do with the channel. And the first question was up and asked by a commenter of, does the AI lie? And the response from the Oracle was actually pretty interesting. And the next video up is tomorrow, on Sunday, and it's the actual first visions of the Oracle, where the Oracle actually asks its first question itself, because it will actually ask its own questions or give its response to intriguing stuff in the universe. So there it is, but thanks for watching this one, and bye for now.